Hello, Reformers, and welcome back to Prophecy of Pendor. Now, when we left off, you left me with, well, a little bit to do, and I was, well, trying to help some of the Noldor in battle, and we have done just that. I now have them at -11. So, not great, not bad, and so on and so forth. But it could be better, couldn't it? It could be better. And so we also have this, which could potentially take us to -7. Which would be even better. So, what we're going to try to do is level up a couple of our units before we head in here. As we can see, our trainer skill has been doing an amazing job of leveling up our Empire crossbowmen. Alyssa has also rejoined us, of course, so we're going to be getting her another point in power strike and strength, respectively. And then, of course, we'll get a Valkyrie too. So, let's get our companions all at the top here, because we want them to enter all at the same time, pretty much. And obviously I have sent Julia off to, well, tell people about how grand we are, how grand Beartild the Lesser is, and hopefully, as a result, he will become Beartild the Greater, maybe at some point, who knows. But we're going to see what happens here with this Sarlian vassal against these Noldor, and hopefully we'll gain even more relation. I'm not entirely sure if you can gain more than 4 relation, but we're going to find out nevertheless. So, let us move in to help the Noldor patrol. 111 against 68. Obviously, they may have already even won this. They may have won this, the Noldor, without me even helping them. But you never know. And they do have a huge amount of very valuable prisoners, and we wouldn't want the Sarlian units to actually have those prisoners themselves, would we? So it's best that the Noldor just keep a hold of them, at least for now. And we're going to see what we can do here. Obviously, unfortunately, the battlefield does not appear to be a very good one. As we can see here, it is very hilly and mountainous, and we're really not liking it very much, because obviously our Noldor friends really do need to have a nice line of sight. As we can see here, we have a lot of Noldor nobles here. They will start to do their sharpshootering best, and, well, hopefully snipe a lot of enemy units. As we can see here, Noldor Rangers, Noldor Warriors, Nobles, and so forth. And we're going to charge in our cavalry straight off here, because really, there's not much more we can do here. We just have to make sure that our Noldor do not get picked on too much. And I'm willing to sacrifice a couple of our own units to do that. So I think that's worth it, in my opinion. These guys are actually doing a very nice job in actually blocking many of our attacks. I'm going to try and assault some of their archers if I can. And there's level 18, thankfully enough. Very nice indeed. So let's see what we can do here. We're taking out a lot of their units. It appears as though this axe is doing quite nicely now. Even though the reach is not the greatest, I have to say that it does seem to do a pretty reasonable amount of damage. As we can see there, we're getting quite a few kills. Well, 4 in actual fact. Ah, yes. Well, there it is. That was a very swift and easy victory, and 6 renown. 6 renown is not all that bad, and as we can see, we actually took no casualties whatsoever. So obviously, the Kingdom of Sarlian is now not liking us one bit, which is really quite unfortunate, because we are very close by to their town of Laria, and I really wanted to rest there a little bit more, because after one of the fights that we had, I was actually against a Jetu army, and the Noldor were with us, and the Noldor only had about 8 or 11 whatever amounts of units, and they were, of course, not really helping us as much as we were in this battle. So I took quite a few losses, but thankfully the Jetu actually had a good amount of prisoners, so I was able to recuperate our losses a little bit there. So let's head into the item pool here. We actually have a pretty reasonable chess piece there, so we're going to be letting our heroes select that. Adonia is now going to be using it, and we'll take the rest just to sell. As we can see there, we have a little bit of loot. I'm going to take a little bit more there, and we'll now head onward. Now, yes, this is the one thing I'm a little bit worried about now. These guys actually have a very small party, and as a result, they're probably going to be able to catch up with us extremely quickly. Or maybe not. They appear to not really be aggressive towards us as much as they were, because if you recall, they wanted us dead. Yes, they wanted to hunt us down and absolutely destroy us. Ooh, here we go. Lord Eric, go. Go, Noldor. Attack Lord Eric. Ah, it appears as though they are not wanting to attack Lord Eric for whatever reason. well, whatever the case, we are going to need to stalk them a little bit, and we'll see where they go. And as a result, I'll cut away, and I'll see if I can get another battle with the Noldor. Okay, so after a reasonable amount of time, I appear to have found maybe a secret formula to how we find Noldor battles. It appears they really do not like to fight in their forests unless it is against Jatu, and indeed many of the vassals do not even venture close to the forests themselves. So in actual fact, it appears as though many of the vassals, and indeed enemy units that the Noldor may have, are more likely going to be on the flat lands surrounding the forest. And as a result, I thought to myself, okay, well, let's just go around a couple of the Empire and Sarleon territories and see what we find. And it appears as though we've actually found a unique, well, not a unique spawn as such, but it is a unique named party of Noldor who is currently fighting a Empire vassal, which I am actually really sad about because I don't really want to make the Empire mad, but then in actual fact we are a part of the Fyrdsvein, technically, aren't we? I think so. So hopefully that will protect us a little bit, because they won't obviously declare war on me, so technically us attacking will not cause any problem there. At least that is what I hope. So let us rush to the aid of these Noldor units. As you can see, Kyros Dux actually has a lot more, well, than the previous fellow. So let's see what we can do here. So we are going to need to get some good line of sight once again. How many allies do we have? 24. So we should be perfectly fine, because 24 Noldor can basically take out pretty much anything, I would say, apart from a huge heretic army, I guess. But we're going to see. We're going to see what actually goes down here. Hopefully our Noldor friends will prove their accuracy and their deadly, deadly archery skills. And we'll see how it goes. Now, how many cavalry do we have? 36. We actually have 36 cavalry. That's pretty nice. So, wow, we have Noldor warriors, Noldor rangers, and of course we have Noldor nobles up there as well. And so, let us see. Are we not actually getting any kills here? It appears as though the Empire is turtling a little bit too much. So we are going to be making our way forward somewhat and seeing if they make a move towards us. They seem to be a little bit frightened. Well, I suppose I can somewhat assume why that may be, because of course Noldor and everything, but it appears as though we are having a little bit of bad luck here. Many of our Noldor compatriots are not actually dealing as much damage as I would have assumed they would in this situation. So let's just see what goes down here. Maybe we'll be lucky, maybe we will be unlucky, and our Noldor friends will not actually deal any damage whatsoever. So, well, let's just see what happens, shall we? This is going to be quite interesting, I feel, but oh, okay, so it appears we have not killed any of them. Nope. Oh, there we go. There's the first casualty. I think it's about time that we just charged our infantry and cavalry in, isn't it? Because really, what are we going to do otherwise? We're just going to let our Noldor run out of arrows, and, well, even though that may be a good idea, I feel as though sacrificing a couple of my units to save some of the Noldor is a good idea, because we want to get them as much relation as possible, and if we are able to actually prevent them from losing too many units in a skirmish or something along those lines, then we should be... Wow. Okay, that was a Shadow Legion Centurion right there, and that's exactly the reason why I would have liked to have gained some of those. But we are going to try our very best, aren't we? We are going to try to get another quest from the Shadow Legion, and we'll see whether we can get them on our side. But right now, obviously, we just want to make sure that the Noldor are, well, neutral or friendly with us. And then we'll be able to potentially purchase something from Quigfen if we so desire, if we are not going to be spending a Qualis gem to purchase a potion from Phineas, of course. And we are probably going to be stopping our village raiding, or at least we are going to be maybe doing a little bit more raiding, and then stopping, well, we'll see anyway, because, well, we do not want to reduce our charisma by any amount, because leveling up, even though it is quite easy at some points, it is not exactly the easiest thing to do, especially seeing as we are now gaining a lot more levels. And now let's see here. Wow, okay, we've actually lost 16 of our own units to death, and our Noldor are having a great deal of difficulty with these Shadow Legion Centurions, This particular fellow right here is a Shadow Legion Centurion, and I'm thinking I'm actually going to follow him around just to see what he actually does in this battle. And let's see whether he's able to... Oh, okay, nothing. Apparently our Nordor Rangers were able to get around his shield. That's exactly the reason why I suspect our Nordor were not able to deal any damage, because our Shadow Legion Centurions and their various shields were able to prevent them from taking any damage whatsoever. So that is very, very impressive, and I have to admit that their throwing weapon skills, as you could plainly see against us, were remarkably deadly. So yes, headshot with a thrown weapon, yeah, very, very impressive indeed. So there it is, that is victory. Let's hopefully get a little bit more renown this time. There we go, 17 renown, that's exactly what we like to see. And we have now obviously reduced our relation with the Empire by 4 as well, but hopefully that will not cause them to be too aggressive towards us. And the Noldor has now improved to -3. And we can now take this guy prisoner if we so desire, but I'm actually going to be letting him go, because even though it would probably yield a rather large sum of money to do with ransom brokering, it is probably not the greatest idea to do that and make the Empire even madder than they already are. So we're going to be letting them go, gaining some honor in the process as well, and taking some loot. I'm actually going to just put that back real quick and see whether anyone wants that. What about that? Ooh, that's actually a really nice helm. I don't know whether it really suits us, but I'm going to take it nevertheless. Wow, a lot of people equipped a lot of things right there. So let's just get all of that. And we have a little bit more space, so let's take the rest there as well. There we go, and a lot of people are actually leveling up right now as well, which is fantastic. So let's see here, what can we do? Well, we're going to be leveling up a couple of our units, and then we'll obviously be heading very, very quickly away from the Noldor. We do not want them to attack us, of course. Let's get Adonia that next point in strength, and hopefully then she'll be able to get another point in Iron Flesh and Power Strike next level. Hopefully she will become quite the devastating force in our army, and we'll get another point for Leslie in strength, get another point in Power Strike as well, and Anson, well, let's see, what does Anson want to do? Well, I suppose he could go for another point in intelligence and get some more wound treatment and first aid in actual fact, so that's pretty nice. He is actually our best engineer and our medic right now, because even though I do have medicinal skills, I only have first aid better than him, so I suppose it's actually not bad, because a companion having some skills is always a good idea, especially when they can back you up rather considerably. So let's get a little bit more in strength and Iron Flesh, make our Ds a little bit more survivable, and then what else do we have? Not much to level up here. 11 Empire Crossbowmen in actual fact, though. That's pretty nice. And then, of course, we have Bertil the Lesser. And we are going to be getting him another point in intelligence, I think. And what else? What else do we want to get here? It's difficult. It's very, very difficult. I'm thinking probably some more in power throw and another point in shield so that we can actually use the better shields. And we are going to be using our throwing weapons, mark my words, we are going to be using them, but right now I just want to be a little simpler, considering we are just wanting to let the Noldor win the battles for us, basically, and then head on from there with our newly found relation with them. And we are now going to be moving along and seeing what this Noldor party actually get up to. Obviously these... wow, there's actually 2 of them. Not especially great to be chased down by them, I have to say. But let's see here, what can we do? Okay, we have some Red Brotherhood thieves. If I attack them, do they give me the location? It's unlikely if they give me the location of the hideout, isn't it? Yeah, it's very, very unlikely. So let's see what we can do here. I'm gonna just cut away again, and we'll see whether we get another battle with the Noldor. Okay, so it seems as though we have yet another battle in our sights. Thankfully enough, I was able to shadow these Noldor until they came across a caravan, and thankfully enough, we have now seen that they have engaged them. Now, there is also something to worry about. This particular fellow here has an overwhelming amount of Empire mortals. Yes, so we definitely want to get out of here before he does anything to help. So let's move in to help the Noldor patrol, even though, well, we're probably going to be able to beat these guys very, very easily. It is also a problem that Justice Dux is actually bearing down upon us right now. So let's be very, very careful. We need to make sure that we have enough HP to be able to run away. We have the most pathfinding in our party right now, so it is a little bit worrying if we fail here and if I die. So gonna try and stay alive a little bit more now. And let's just see here how many. Okay, 34 Noldor are on the battlefield. Hopefully they will prove themselves to be mighty warriors once again. Maybe a little bit more than before, of course, because we were against quite a few Shadow Legion units. That was not great. So let's see. Okay, yes, there we go. Fantastic. So let us charge everyone in once again. Not really using any tactics right here because, well, Noldor. Yes, I know. Probably should use tactics, but in the end, Noldor are just going to win the day no matter what we do. So I think it should be completely fine to do just that. And of course, I would miss that one slash right there. Fantastic, isn't it? Yes, absolutely fantastic. Oh, we are... Wow, we actually did 80 damage with no modifier whatsoever. No speed bonus and no negative from it at all. Okay, that was remarkable. That doesn't usually happen, but whatever the case, there we go. We have eliminated that, and there it is. The Noldor have now increased to +1. So we will now be able to speak to Quigfen, thankfully enough, and, well, if we so desire, and gain his armaments and various other things that we could potentially use to good effect. I would really like to get a nice weapon or something along those lines. We do have a nice weapon already, of course, but it would be rather nice to gain something from the Noldor themselves. I think that would be pretty cool anyway. So let's just take as much as we can there, and we'll be heading very swiftly away from this battle. And I'm sure the Noldor will be doing the same, because they don't really want to be fighting Empire mortals, that's for sure. And so, yeah, now there is a slight problem. We are having some difficulties with the Empire of, Kingdom of Sarleon and the Empire itself. So, yes, we will no longer be able to get into Laria, which is indeed a problem. So, we are probably going to be heading on to Fyrdsvain territory and sticking around there. It appears as though these guys really don't want to attack us, though, because they are only -4 with us. But if you go in here, as you can see, it is a besiege option, so we are not going to be able to visit them very soon until, I would say, the Fyrdsvain declare war against them and then declare peace again. If I am correct about that, then that's great, but if I'm incorrect, well, yes, we're going to see what happens anyway. So let's see if we can actually get by all of these Sarleon vassals here. And I feel like we've done a reasonably good job at making our way through so far, and oh my, look at that. That's actually quite an impressive battle. Robbers, 10 of them against 2 errant knights. I actually wonder who's going to win this, but we are going to be moving in to help the errant knights, and I actually think we're just going to order our troops to attack. There we go. And we have improved our relation with the Rangers of the Clarion Call by 4, which is not bad, but I was hoping that we would be able to maybe retrieve the prisoners from the Rangers of the Clarion Call. As you can see, they have rogue Blackheart Knights, which would be rather fantastic to recruit, but yes, that's not going to happen right now anyway. So let us just head on, I suppose. We'll just be heading on to Yavexholm, and we'll be seeing what we can do there. Of course, once our mercenary contract is up, we do have the opportunity to join another one, to join another faction as a mercenary if we so desire, or maybe to join as a vassal itself, only for the sole purpose of gaining a fief and then renouncing our allegiance. But obviously we really do not have enough power right now to be able to make our own faction as it is, and that is exactly it. It is a slow game, that is for sure, especially considering Prophecy of Pendor does increase the difficulty curve ever so slightly, well, actually quite a lot, but that's just how it is. You just have to go with it and, well, make inroads wherever you can and make allies wherever you can, and as a result, you can just hope that you will gain power steadily, I suppose you could say. So there we go. We now have, okay, well... Okay, that doesn't appear to be very impressive. Oh, and that guy's currently at ethos, so that's really not going to make any difference, is it? So, yeah, I suppose all we have left to do right here is sell the rest of our gear that we acquired. I can actually use this now, but I think my shield is pretty reasonable as it is. Gonna keep this halberd just in case. We're gonna sell everything else, though. There we go, and yes, don't need to use those. We can sell this. There we go. Wow, that's actually giving us a good amount of money as well, thanks to our trade skill, I suppose. Well, Leslie's trade skill, I guess, because we are still at 4 and she is at 5, so yes, there's that. And I think I'll be keeping that immortal helm as well, and we'll keep this here. There we go. Okay, that's fantastic. So now all we need to do is buy some cabbages, some food, and there we have it. Okay, so, yes, I will be waiting for some time off screen, and I will let time pass somewhat, and we'll see what actually transpires with the situations of the various factions in Pendor, and we'll see whether we can gain access to Laria itself. And maybe I'll head around various places and try to buy a few more bakeries too. So, I thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.